Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 2 of the NFL preseason right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. And Joe Duffy, of course, has 27 years of handicapping success that began, I guess, in the late 80s and has lasted all the way up through last week when he went 10-4 against the spread overall, covering 14 preseason games with us against the spread. 10 of those turned out to be winners. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks so much for being back with us.
Thank you, Peter. And 6-2 with our premium plays, our highest rated plays in the preseason.
Awesome, Joe Duffy. I won't waste any more time with superlatives. That record speaks for itself. Right now, we're going to cover Tennessee and New Orleans. Before we get to that, give a quick plug for OffshoreInsiders.com.
Well, a lot of people have been watching my videos for years. They might notice I'm looking down at my iPad a lot more during the preseason than I do during the regular season. Why? Because there's so many more subtle notes that they're tough to memorize. But the point is, from a handicapping standpoint, we're able to really to find the certainty and to beat the uncertainty that the odds makers have when they're making these lines. And that's why in preseason I've always done well over the decades at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Sounds great. Tennessee and New Orleans. Tennessee is right now a 3.5-point underdog, although that line is juiced and the total is 43. And we discussed in our coverage of Jacksonville, Chicago, why some of these Week 2 NFL preseason totals are looking a little bit high to some experienced preseason bettors. Tennessee, of course, coming off of their win over Green Bay in a downpour, and the Saints beat St. Louis, and that was one of the losses from Week 1 in the preseason. We thought the under was a good bet in there. That one went way over despite no breeze for the Saints. And the Titans D didn't look that great in Week 1. Their first string defense, and Wisenhunt again is trying to get this team up to speed with his new schemes. The Saints, though, are 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 preseason games and 17-5 against the spread in their last 22 preseason games. So if you like Tennessee here, you're betting against that trend. I don't know what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking that this might be one of those games where the total's a little bit too inflated. I'm thinking maybe the under 43, but as of right now, I have no opinions and would stay off it unless you can convince me of some play with value here. Joe Duffy, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually did mention in one of our other videos why the under will probably be a decent play this week in general, but that doesn't mean that it applies to every single game. Now, we're recording this about 48 hours before game time. The tea leaves, as I like to say, looks like Drew Brees probably won't play, but let's face it, if he does play, I would be surprised if he plays more than a series or two. No need to really have him play in Week 2. Maybe he can play a little bit in Week 3 so he doesn't go into Week 1 of the regular season completely rusty. But I think they'll be very conservative with that. But however, they really have some interesting. Ryan Griffin has looked very impressive as the backup quarterback for the Saints, and he's battling Luke McNown, who's, typical. He's a poster child of a journeyman. But I look for Griffin to really air it out this week and have a ton of success. The Saints have really injected a little bit of youth into their offense. They have the wide receiver Brandon Cooks. First rounder has been sensational. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of the younger players on the Saints offense have a big game here. And the Saints defense looks like they're a little bit improved. I'm not really a big fan of Bob Ryan, but the truth is all reports say that his defense is adjusting to his schemes a little bit more. They have more talent, and they're a little bit deeper. So I'm actually going to lay the lumber here with the Saints.
Well, Wisenhunt is 9-16 against the spread in his preseason career. And again, the Saints 17-5 against the spread in their last 22 preseason games. So I guess New Orleans -3.5 it is. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks so much.